What's up, everybody? Alex here. Welcome back to another episode of What's on Tap. This is episode number 15 of What's on Tap, the vinyl community weekly, bi-weekly, every once in a while wrap. Basically, this is where I jump on here and drink usually a craft beer and talk about some records or things that are happening over the week. So thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. Should be a short one today. So for those who are not the fans of the 25-minute long videos, maybe this one will be like only 22 minutes. We'll see. But what are we drinking? We're going to go with a little piece of home. We're going to keep it Ohio with one of probably Ohio's, if not Ohio's, best known brewery. One of them, at least. And that brewery is Hoof Hearted. Yes, of course, Hoof Hearted out of Marengo, Ohio, which is about 25 miles or so north of me. Here, but they typically will call Columbus sort of home. There's a brew pub here in Columbus from Hoof Hearted. They are known for some pretty wild beers. They are known for their big kind of beer festival called Dragon Saddle Days. Dragon Saddle is one of their big kind of flagship triple IPAs. A ton of IPAs. A lot of times hazy, a lot of times weird stuff going on in them, all that type of stuff. So pick this up locally. I wanted to get into it. So, they're also known for just ridiculous can art like this. So, if you're into it, I'm into it. But this is called It's 5 O'Clock Somehow, a double India Pale Ale brewed with Phantasm, double dry hopped with Citra and Nectaron. Truthfully, I have no idea what Phantasm is, but we're going to find out. So there you go. It is 8% alcohol by volume. This is 1 pint. They do say that this is drink fresh at 46 degrees. So I don't know if we're around there somewhere, but let's get into it, shall we? Fill it to the brim with a little bit of spillage. That's all right if I had a nickel. Coming out pretty light in color, pretty hazy. Good looking half finger head on there, and that beautiful, beautiful Treehouse Brewing Company glass. It's very, very light in color. That is what it is. Hazy, you can't see through it, but it's pretty light in color compared to some of the other stuff. Smells great though. Smells like a juicy IPA, man. Doesn't smell too bitter. Big fruit hops. Smells pretty good. Hey, cheers to the weekend. Let's get into it. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm in on that. Great mouthfeel. Super pillowy, fluffy, smooth on the mouth. Big fruitiness up front, a little bit of sweetness, but a good little bitter backbone behind to balance it out. Not too sweet. Mouthfeel's there. There's a little bit of this like heat that comes off of it. Yeah, that's fascinating. That's a good beer right there. They do good stuff, people. Sometimes they're their worst enemy is sometimes they'll do shit that just doesn't make sense and it's kind of dumb. But they do it all for the creativity. So yeah, it's 5 o'clock somehow from Hoof Hearted. That's a great beer. You give it a 4 point. That's a 4.25 out of 5. How about that? All right. Was a quick listening week just because I was busy a lot of the week. Didn't have a ton of listening time, but still some good stuff. And there's a lot of Canada on this list, inadvertently, but we'll get into it. Now, this was a spin of the week, I would say. For sure. Neil Young's After the Gold Rush. Arguably his best. A lot of people's favorites. I think this is my favorite, but, you know, my favorites could be any 4 or 5 Neil records at any given time. But, I mean, I just love this era. I love the title track. Well, I swear I saw the knights in armor come. I better stop. I'll get demonetized on the copyright. But yeah, I mean, what it is, an awesome record all the way around. You got obviously the hits on here, like Southern Man, but then you got some of the deeper cuts too that are so good. Crown Cripple Creek, Barry. I love this record. Yeah, After the Gold Rush. I mean, I know Harvest gets all the love, but I feel like this is like the I don't know. What do y'all think? This or Harvest? You tell me. This next two, I don't think I've ever showed these records before. I don't see a whole lot of people showing these records. But this is from a Canadian artist named Cindy Lee, which is sort of the moniker of Patrick Flagle, or Flagel, I don't know, somebody help me, who was in kind of like a lo-fi noise indie rock band in Canada. He was in a band called Women. And then he started sort of like this project, I guess, called Cindy Lee. And in 2020, he released this record, What's Tonight to Eternity. This is, Brian, Embryonic, if you're watching, this is up your alley, my friend. I mean, this is, A, because it's Canadian, B, because it is like this weird, like indie, atmospheric, lo-fi, noisy, psychedelic pop in places. There is nothing that sounds anything like Cindy Lee. And I'm bringing this up too because this came out last year, but it was sort of a delayed release on physical because this is not streaming except I believe on YouTube. But this is Diamond Jubilee that came out last year. A triple album. It's like 2 hours of music. And again, this is a bit more, I think, noisy, a little bit more feedback, drony type of stuff. This is a absolute tour de force in a million different genres. This sort of poppy, psychedelic, lo-fi soundtrack. I don't even know how to explain it. But again, Cindy Lee is kind of his moniker. This type of stuff kind of blew me away when I first heard it. I was like, what is that? I got to get more of that. Incredible stuff. If anybody is a Cindy Lee fan, again, I'm kind of pointing at you, Brian, because I feel like it's a little bit up your alley based on just how it sounds and being Canadian and all that type of stuff. So, yeah, if y'all don't know these records, check these out if you're into that sort of lo-fi, psychedelic, noisy type thing that love this additional sort of artsy, poppy element on top of it. Yeah, check those out. So this literally just came in about 5 minutes before I started recording. And this is a record I've been looking forward to for a long time, and it's going to be near the top of my favorite albums of the year. And that is Resonance from Bill Fox. I streamed this record a ton a couple of months ago when it was actually released. The original pressings sold out and they had to repress it. This is coming from the 11th Hour Recording Company out of Cleveland. I'll have some really cool stuff coming out about them and with them here in the coming weeks. But Bill Fox, ironically, was put on my radar through M. Ross Perkins, who's a coal mine artist that I had an interview with, and he's an Ohio guy, and he was talking about how Bill Fox is his songwriting hero. Bill Fox is from Cleveland. He was in a band, kind of like a power pop punk band called The Mice way back in the day. He disappeared kind of from music and from the public eye, and then sort of came back after a lot of people were like, dude, you're incredible, you got to come back. So the fact he's still making music and doing it on the 11th Hour Recording Company label is really cool. This is, speaking of lo-fi, this is lo-fi acoustic singer-songwriter stuff. I mean, this is like early Bob Dylan meets Elliott Smith type stuff, if you can believe it. But yeah, I remember I heard it kicks off with Terminal Way, a beautiful song. And there's so much great stuff on here. So if you're into that sort of stuff, check out Bill Fox. This record is unbelievable, and I'm just so glad I got it and that they got it repressed and sent it to me, which is really cool. I will be doing a recording tomorrow on as part of the review crew on Sea of Tranquility, of course, the gigantic, sort of physical media music show that we all wish that we were as cool. That we were so cool to be all the time. But I'll be on the review crew. We're looking at some records from the 2010s, and it's a pretty big group of people reviewing records. But I wanted to do something that stood out a little bit, that had a little bit of a theme, because obviously there's plenty of amazing records from the 2010s, but most of the review crew looks at a lot of hard rock, classic rock, heavy metal, prog, all that type of stuff. And I wanted to kind of teeter outside of it a bit with a super happy subject, death. You know, we're coming off of still reeling from the deaths of Sly Stone and Brian Wilson. And so I was, sitting here thinking about these artists that we love that we lose that catch us by surprise. We didn't know we're sick, all that type of stuff. And they were recording albums. And so 2 of the 2010s came to mind right away. Of course, big one here is Black Star from David Bowie from 2016, released in January of 2016 on his birthday. And then 2 days after release, died of cancer. This was kind of recorded in secrecy with this jazz quartet out of New York City. No one knew he was sick. I think he released it on like his 69th birthday or something, and then 2 days later was gone. But I mean, you can just tell, this idea of people that are writing and recording records as sort of a send-off, as a parting gift to the world, to the fans, all the different people. And so obviously, Black Star is the big one. And a lot of people, and myself included, point to this as one of their favorite David Bowie records. In that same year, about, 9 months later or so, of course, we get You Want It Darker from Leonard Cohen, who, in a very, very similar space, was dying, had a whole lot of health issues. He was sort of confined to like his living room or something and couldn't really move or travel, and recorded everything in his living room and then emailed it out to the rest of the performers on here. But again, similarly, I think he died 17 days after this record was released. So yeah, more Canada for a lot of Canadian going on here. But yeah, this is such a cool, dark record. I mean, his voice is just so deep and raspy and cool. I mean, it gives very much like TV soundtracky montage type vibes. But the thing is with that record, it's important to note that that came out in 2016. In 2019, we got Thanks for the Dance, and these two are just a great kind of companion piece. Technically, this is the last record. It was released posthumously, and I believe his son was kind of saying, look, this is not just B-sides or things that weren't used. These are genuinely a lot of the same tracks that were coming from this record. So, these are companion pieces, and just, again, similarly, I think a lot of Leonard Cohen fans look at these as sort of some top class of the Leonard Cohen catalog. So, beautiful records, and again, that darkness, that sadness of people literally on their deathbeds and saying, you know what, I'm going to release one last piece of art for all the people. It's just, it's amazing. I love that. So that's what I'm going to be talking about in Sea of Tranquility, which that should be airing sometime this weekend. I think it posts. Tonight, and these are the last couple things I'm showing, tonight for What's on Tap for the live album as well. We're not doing a live album. We're doing a whole full-on live show, which should be super exciting. I'll be seeing a coal mine artist tonight, and that I'm really excited for, and that is Say She She. Say She She, which is a reference to, I think, a Nile Rodgers song. They released 2 records on Coal Mine. This was their debut, Prison, back in 2022. And then this was Silver, I think it's called, yes, back from 2023. The hype stickers, like we know with Coal Mine, kind of say it all. This is Say She She's dreamy disco-delic debut, and then boundary-busting disco-delic soul. This got 5 stars from The Guardian. These cats are cool. It's 3 female trained singers. That Ed, on my turntable, if you're watching, you would dig Say She She a lot. Big throwbacks to like Donna Summer. Obviously, they got like the Chic and Nile Rodgers kind of influence going on big time. But it's 3 singers, and then they're backed by like this badass, funky R&B band. And so, very, very cool band. Now, they, unfortunately, at least for me, I think fortunately for them, whoever, these are the 2 records that they released on Coal Mine. They just announced their new record that's coming out later this year that is on a different label. So we'll see what that looks like. I do have that on pre-order, and I'm really excited for it. So that's what I'm doing tonight, is checking these gals out, and we're super excited because I've heard nothing but good things. They were just sort of like rediscovered by Questlove, so I think a lot of people are thinking that they might be blowing up after this. But if you're into that, again, old school throwback, kind of disco-delic type stuff. I love that term, disco-delic. Then you'll probably be into these. Say She She on Coal Mine. Super cool band, super great group. So there you go. Again, I told you it was going to be a quick one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good weekend. Stay cool. It's going to be like 100 degrees for the next week here in Ohio. Other than that, what do they say? Drink beer, listen to records. Cheers, everyone. Bye.